Hello, everyone, and welcome to People of Interest. I'm your host, Miguel Guanipa. As you know, People of Interest is based on the premise that everyone has a story. And so we invite people to the show to share their story or stories so that we may be encouraged, enlightened, and maybe even inspired by the stories. Today, I have a good friend that came to in short notice, basically, to my show. He's a music lover and loves movies, and he also loves architecture. And he's a resident of Northbridge. His name is Beau Daniel Thrush. Thank
Thank you
you
for having me.
for joining me,
Thank you.
Beau. Beau, I say, you remember that time that we went out and with Christine and I kept calling you Mo?
Mo. I get that mixed up a lot.
I have to learn how to write your name too. Some people, not a lot of people know that Beau Daniel. There was actually somebody called Beau Daniels. That was somewhat of a famous person. You know who?
I'm not sure who the famous person is, but I know my first name Beau. It comes after a crush my mom had on a soap opera on TV.
Oh, is that right?
So Beau Bridges.
Beau Bridges. It was the character that was the character. In the,
I forget
oh,
the character's name
oh, so
in the
she
show.
just liked the soap opera.
But yeah, she liked the soap opera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
All
then
right.
I'm not sure where Daniel came from, but she just put the two together.
Yeah. So what did you when I asked you, what the first time I asked you to come over to the show? How did that hit you? What?
Well, I think your wife first mentioned it when I was
Yeah.
in her shop,
Yeah.
and I was pleased to I was happy to be invited, but also it's a little nerve-wracking
Yeah.
to do public speaking, but that's why I wanted to come today is because I joined Toastmasters Club
Right.
a few years ago to improve my public speaking,
Mm-hmm.
and this is actually earning me a credit in my competent communication manual for my class.
So let's describe a little bit. Toastmasters is kind of a seminar type of thing that get a book and you practice public speaking.
Yes.
And so you go through several do different speeches, and it's designed to give you a little more confidence when you speak. And what other things does that do?
It helps develop your confidence, and
Mm-hmm.
it helps develop your presentation skills when putting on a presentation in front at work or hosting a party or in any situation where you are going to lead or engage in a conversation. It's
Okay.
been really beneficial for me in helping further develop my confidence and my communication skills.
Okay. And I remember when I took it a few years ago, and I wanted to ask you this question because this is the first thing that I remember by taking it. It was something that I learned actually about myself when I took those masters. It was an interesting insight. It kind of opens you up a little bit in one interesting sense that, wow, you're doing something that you don't typically do.
It's out of your
Speaking in
comfort.
public, and it's out of your comfort zone.
Yep.
So did you have that experience, or did it teach you?
Absolutely. I think
Yeah.
on my first icebreaker speech, you really kind of it brings you out of your comfort zone. It kind of gets you past the anxiety and the trepidation that you have speaking publicly. So it was a tough thing to go through, but
Yeah.
it was worth it in the end.
I mean, we could be talking about Toastmasters for a long time. We can still talk a little bit about it because I have good memories of it. But I remember I gave a speech one time, and there was a guy that was a top-notch Toastmaster. Like, well, you know how sometimes they invite people that really
Yeah,
know how to
from the
speak?
district and
Right,
yes.
right. And I told this guy, hey, he's asked me, what would you like me to look at? I just speech look for, and I said, I want you to really be ruthless. I want you to look at everything and tell me everywhere where I need to improve.
Yes.
And I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, they can be. Yeah, they pick up on every and ah and they
Yes.
count
The
count
fillers.
the filler words,
Yes.
and the you knows, and
Yes, yeah.
yep.
And do you remember when you were doing that and other people were doing it and they told you, you said like about 20 times, and you wonder, wow, really? Did I?
Yeah, I realized I said a lot.
Okay.
I would, and just means, but there's some debate on that because that you're just pausing to think and your brain is processing. But in
Yeah.
conversation or in a presentation, can also be a distracting word, and it might give the audience an idea
There you
that
go.
that you don't know like what you're saying. Like
Right.
so,
Right.
I learned that I said a lot.
Yeah. And then it started improving, I guess, after that.
Well,
a little bit,
once
and-
you go through a couple speeches, it kind of it comes out of your vocabulary.
Yeah.
You try your best to not use it as a clutch word.
try to take it out. Why do you think? See that I just did that. Why do you think that people are almost naturally so nervous about that? Because I read something that said that some people actually public speaking is something that terrifies them more than like death.
I think I read recently that it's the biggest fear
Yeah.
anybody has over death, flying,
Yeah.
their health concerns. Yeah, public speaking is by far the scariest thing.
Why do you think that is?
Because I think it's for people who have like a natural like a knack for it. Like it's not everybody does well with public speaking. So I think sometimes it's just
Well, for you, why do you think when you started, what did you study that and wonder, okay, what are the things that are making me so anxious about public speaking? You wonder about that? Or?
I did it to be like stronger in meetings or giving presentations.
Yeah.
So I don't know the psychology behind it, like why I start to sweat and trip up on my words and your mind goes blank. It just really made me realize that preparation is the key, and it takes not just practice but perfect practice. Perfect practice to do it well and overcome that anxiety.
Well, one time I prepared for the speech, and I prepared a lot. I prepared so much that I was at the meeting where we were supposed to get up to have the meeting, and so the first thing I was going to do was use a quote for my speech, and so I remember this quote, and then I kept repeating it in my mind and repeating it and repeating. The second before I was going to speak, I still was repeating it in my head. I got up to speak, and my mind went blank.
Yeah, that's why I brought note cards today, just in case. It's just
Isn't that crazy?
yeah. It's just I think it's difficult to overcome that that fear, and our minds just, no matter how much we prepare, once we see the faces in the audience or whoever we're speaking to, our minds just go blank. Like it just kind of just happens naturally.
Naturally.
It's tough sometimes, but
I wonder if it's because we feel that every single part of us is being watched, and that maybe that's got to.
Big Brother is always watching.
Everybody's watching you.
Puts a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
To perform well and to engage in the conversation and to like be articulate. It takes
That is true. Well, we were talking about earlier, and you mentioned you did mention the Toastmasters, but I'm intrigued. Did you want the talent thing that you mentioned that you wanted to is that too soon, or you want to?
Oh no! I don't have an exciting talent. Like I can't tie a cherry stem with my tongue. I don't possess any like amazing athletic ability. But my talent and my passion is for organization.
Yeah,
I'm a member of NAPO, the National Association of Professional Organizers.
Wow.
Which just boils down to me. I basically have a really organized closet,
Yeah.
and my office space is immaculate. But it's I have a passion for organization, and designing spaces that are that make it comfortable to work in and to accomplish work. I can't get work done in a messy, cluttered space. Sometimes, when I collaborate with others and we work in their workspaces, I'm caught like tidying things up in the corner and like cleaning up. So, yeah, I just have a passion and a talent for organization.
How do you figure that came about, that desire to
My
organize things?
my mom told me stories about like when I was younger, and I had the neatest toy box. I couldn't just throw my toys into a toy box. I had to stack them by size and color and type, and I've just always
Been like that.
always been like that. My drawers are very neat. Even my junk drawer is organized. I've always it just organization just fits in with my OCD and my need to control
Control is that what it is,
everything
you
in my
think?
life.
Yeah. Okay, well that's an interesting thing. So I think there's some in different levels. All of us need to have some type of control over things. So
Absolutely.
I mean, in life you have to have you need to have a little preparation for things. But do you feel that your need for control is a little like another tier than the regular, like just the average person? Or? No, well, let's call it organization.
Yeah,
for now.
well, I mean, according to roommates I've lived with before, I'm ridiculous because everything has to be in a specific place, and if
Yeah.
it's not there when I go to find it,
He's not there.
I think it's just trying to just have that control, to be
Yeah.
in control of everything around me, and
Gives you a sense of security, or
yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Okay.
And just knowing where things are when you need them, like the tools we need for work.
Has there been a time in your life, like you look back and you stopped and you thought to yourself, oh boy, this I cannot control?
Oh, sure. There's been situations where my organizational skills are not going to help.
Yeah.
So then I just try to control it with humor.
Oh, give me an example of a situation like that. Do you remember?
Well,
That's not embarrassing for you.
well, think of an example. Just situations like, okay, say we're in a meeting and there's a lot of conflicting viewpoints.
Yeah, I know.
I kind of will pull people together with like some humorous joke or something, just to kind of like smooth it out.
Break some of the tension.
Yeah, break the tension, and so that's just. I can't think of like a specific time or a joke, but I just usually just use, and I kind of like dabble more in like gallows humor. So I have a darker sense of humor, so I got to keep it light sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that answered the question.
So ever since you were little, though, then you kind of had a sense that things needed to be in order.
Yes, yeah, I had a strong sense, like since I was a young child, to just be very organized and neat, and I was very meticulous about my handwriting, which led to, like when I was in school studying design, I took a whole semester on architectural handwriting types, and
Architectural handwriting types.
there's 3 different types. The one I can remember is the one I use, and that's the triangular method, and so even being in control of like my handwriting, it just kind of it helps me calm down and like focus.
Okay.
Some reason.
Will there ever come a time you think in your life where suddenly things are out of control and you're able to say, okay, I think I can manage for a season with things being out of control, and that's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to accept
Yeah.
the path you're on, and you just try to
Mm.
be a positive contributor, and then hopefully, in the end, it it all works out.
Do you have brothers and sisters? Or?
I have one brother,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and he's a few years younger than me, and then I have a lot of cousins,
Hmm.
and I grew up down south, and we didn't have any family in Georgia. It was just my brother and I. So we
Wait a
played.
minute. You didn't have any family?
Well, all our family lived in New England.
Oh, okay.
and
Oh, you
we-
mean extended family?
Yeah, all my
Okay.
cousins, all my
Okay.
aunts and uncles,
All right.
all lived up here.
Yeah.
And we lived in Georgia. And so my brother and I, we only had each other. We didn't have other
Yeah.
family. So we were just two peas in a pod, always playing together, playing in the creeks, catching crawdaddies and such.
Yeah. What's a crawdad?
A crawdad is like this little crawfish.
Okay.
Like I guess that's the right term for it, is crawfish.
Yeah.
But it's like a little miniature lobster, like this little scorpion lobster looking
Okay.
thing. I don't know. It's a crawfish, and those were always just in freshwater creeks near our house.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend eating one. I didn't eat them, but
No.
it was just fun to catch them.
Where's your brother right now?
My brother, he lives in Wakefield, Rhode Island.
Wakefield, Rhode Island. You go visit him, say hello, and spend time?
We're a little out of touch these days.
Yeah.
He's got his family down there, and we both just have our busy lives. And
Oh, okay. No more crawdaddies then.
no,
Not for a while.
not for a while.
All right. Well, let me ask you something close to that. I guess you're talking about your family or people in your life. If there's a person in your life that you can think of that was very influential to you, and you thought, okay, that's great that person came into my life, and how did they influence you?
Well, there's been many people throughout the years that, like
You can give me as many
my,
as you
my
want.
teachers, my friends, my colleagues,
Yeah.
the first boss who hired me, they all had an important effect on me. I think the person with the most positive influence in my life is my mom.
Yeah.
She
That's
is a resilient person. She gives me she had a lot of strength through tough times, and so I learned a lot through her. And she's a really hardworking person, and she just never gave up. And she's my top person.
Oh, that's great. I hope she watches the show then.
I'm sure she'll I'll show it to her.
Does she like to organize things too, or?
She's not as organized as I am, which maybe stems from my need to be more organized.
Oh, but she's disorganized in a good way, though.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. That's good. This is I was actually reading today a story, and I thought, I'll share that with you if you
Okay.
don't mind.
Sure.
And I thought, because I love when I read, I love when I find a nice quote, and when you find something that's really, really good, that really inspires you, naturally you like to share it with other people.
Okay.
And so I thought, this might be a nice quote, but I'm going to go slow because it's, maybe I'll read just half of it, but.
Got some length to it.
Huh? It's got some lines to it. But it's in the context of the story of a man who was working as a tutor with a family for a child, a child of theirs. And so his job was not, the kid had grown up, and so he had to go look for something else. So he left, and he went to city. It's set in London. So he found a place to live, and so there he is. And then he asked himself, "Okay, so now what do I do next? What's
Okay.
next?" And that was the question. And so the writer, who's George MacDonald, he writes, "It is a happy thing for us that this is really all we have to concern ourselves about. What to do next. No man can do the second thing. He can do the first. I mean, if he does it, he keeps in front and finds room to do the next again. And so he is sure to arrive at something, for the onward march will carry him with it." So I thought that was
Yeah, that,
pretty cool.
yeah, and that kind of resonates with me because
Yeah.
previously I worked for Staples as a visual specialist, and now I'm trying to find my new path. So that kind of resonates with me a little bit, in like what the next chapter will be, and currently right now I'm just networking with friends and colleagues on what my next steps are, and where I'd like to end up, and kind of doing some self exploration because the career path I was on before, it wasn't the exact career path for me, but I was just kind of following the money, like following the good salary.
Right.
But so now I have to do some more like self discovery and figure out like what do I want and where do I want to go next.
Yeah. So, do you remember a time, whether it was when you were very young or at some point in your life, or maybe it's a recurring thought, maybe not, where you think, boy, I really would like to do this. This is what I would like to do. Where-
I'd like to do like hands on. I like to be creative, but I would love to be a publicist or an agent for a celebrity. I think that would be
Oh.
very exciting.
Start sending your resume out to Hollywood.
Right? Yeah, if only those contacts were easy to get a hold of. But yeah, I think that would be an interesting career path to explore.
Huh.
Being a publicist or an agent, or maybe even entering politics.
Politics.
Yeah.
Wow. Like senator or something, or
I would start somewhere small and work.
start small.
Start
Not
small.
senator. You want to start.
and work. Do something.
Like
do something.
intern or
Do something locally.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But just to help. I mean, right now the current political climate is just so
Yeah.
crazy. So if there's any way I could be a part of the activism and to improve on the direction things are going.
There's opportunities, I believe, in town if you want to start something small. They have usually, I don't know if they recently voted or not, but they have roles in the town for selectmen and for whatever, whatever other things that they have. But you just have to,
I've thought about that.
Yeah.
I haven't looked into what's
if you want to start small.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I'd have to learn more about it and look into it. I'm not even sure what a town selectman
I don't know
does
what they do.
yeah,
but
I'd have to look
a
into it,
name.
but it would be fun to
Get involved.
get involved
Yeah.
and to be a part of the community and the togetherness.
Yeah.
And encouraging good things happening on like for example on Church Street, all the progress that has been made on Church Street with all the gift shops and
Yeah.
the vegan restaurant and
Yeah.
a lot of great things happening on Church Street, and so it'd be fun to be a part of that.
So politics or a publicist for Hollywood,
Yeah, for
one or the other.
for a celebrity or
Can you
or-
start small with the publicist thing? How do you start small with that? You have to just find somebody you know and say, let me be your publicist for a little bit. And,
I'm not really sure how to dive into that.
or
but,
find like a B actor, kind of like. B
yeah,
movie.
I mean, I probably have to start with like the D list. Like,
D-list. That's good.
I'm not sure how people like get on that career path, but that would be
What else? What besides those two? Are there any other ones that you thinking this is something I might be good at or I would like to do? Because this is the thing. Sometimes when we think of what we would like to do, sometimes we romanticize that, and we think, "Oh, that looks really good," but that's not how you see this. Is it something that you, from the inside, you really feel you would love to do this, or is it something? Well, that looks like an exciting job.
Uh, it, internally, I feel like I could make I could be beneficial to helping somebody with like writing speeches, with how to conduct themselves in a public setting.
Huh.
I think
So
that
you would like to do that?
yeah, but I like to be behind the curtain, like behind the
Yes.
scenes,
Yeah.
behind an iron curtain.
Are there any courses that are offered out there, or something? Or any career paths that are open out there that offer that type of education or something? And you can say, oh, I can take a couple of these, and then
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure like if I, there's you can go to school for communications or
Yeah.
business management, but currently with the student loans I'm still trying to pay off. I think that ship has sailed, and
okay. Oh
I gotta focus on.
no, there's always hope. There's always hope. Now you told me that speaking of the things that you like to do, and speaking of career paths and looking into the future and doing some self introspection, kind of. You have a sort of like a mantra. You said. that
Yeah, I
you-
have a mantra that I live by.
Yeah.
It's a sentence taken out of an essay. It's an award-winning essay written by Bessie Anderson Stanley, and the sentence that's taken out of it is "Live well, laugh often, love much." And usually, when you see it in marketing or you see it on pillows or stenciled on walls, usually it's just "Live, laugh, love."
Yeah.
And that's
yeah.
just kind of my mantra that I like to live by.
Yeah. Live. What's the first one? Live.
Live, laugh.
No, no, no.
love.
The long one. What's the long one?
Oh, live well,
Live well.
laugh often,
Okay.
love
Laugh-
much.
Love much.
And then it goes into a whole essay on life and family and
Okay. So how do you, in your own personal life, let's take the first one there, like live well. What
Live
would
well.
constitute that for you personally? I want
for
you
me,
to tell me about
personally,
you.
it was like developing the good habit of exercising, going to the gym, eating healthier. I've been up and down with my weight. So right now I'm in the upward trend of losing weight and working with a trainer. And so just living well and treating your body right.
Does it extend outside of your body, or
Yes.
living well?
Live well. Spending time with your friends and family, and just having fun conversations, and just having a positive outlook on life.
What is that saying that talks about revenge? The best type of revenge is living well, or something like that.
Oh, I forget what that saying is. Yeah, I don't know. I forget how
Something
it
to that
goes.
effect.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
I
a
know
best.
why that-
It's a best dish served cold or something like
Oh
that.
no, that's revenge. Revenge is a dish best served cold.
That's what I'm thinking.
What I'm
of.
talking about, what I was thinking about was that the best revenge is, I think it's something to the effect of, the best revenge is living well.
Okay.
The meaning that if somebody has done something bad to you and you want to take revenge, the best thing that you can probably do is just live well as if that never even bothered you what they did.
True. Yes.
And they would be frustrated because they intended to harm you, but you said, no, I'm fine.
Yeah, they didn't have the impact on you they were
Yeah.
hoping to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're able to.
But you were
overcome
thinking
it.
about the revenge.
I was
and
thinking
cold dish.
Yes, that's the scorpion side of me.
Scorpio or
Yes,
Scorpio?
Scorpio.
Oh, okay. Now then the laugh off, and I don't have to ask you obviously, but you like to laugh.
I love to
You
laugh.
You like to have fun.
Yeah, I like to have fun. I enjoy humor.
Yeah.
I enjoy anything out of Second City or on Saturday Night Live.
Second City? What's
Second City is the the school that a lot of members of Saturday Night Live.
Oh, really?
Where they receive their training,
Oh,
and so I.
really? It's like a club or something, or
It's
school?
just it's a school where they
Huh.
they learn the method of acting and improv, and so I really enjoy. I read a lot of memoirs of celebrities who have gone through Second City, Kathy Griffin, Dave Chappelle, and anybody who's appeared on SNL. I love watching Saturday Night Live.
Any
and I love-
Belushi? You ever read anything from John Belushi? Or?
I know
From
of
old school?
him,
Yeah.
but I know he had a different perspective on humor, and
Yeah.
he doesn't think that women can be funny. And
What?
yeah,
John Belushi?
yeah.
Wow.
If I'm thinking of the right guy, he was in
Animal House.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Him?
yes. He
Wow.
had a unique perspective
That's interesting.
on comedy. Yes, so I have yes.
Oh man, John Belushi.
Yeah, that's the feminist side of me. That was like my
But
mom.
he was a funny
like
guy.
my mom taught me. Like when you read books or articles or you engage in conversation.
Yeah.
You may not understand everything, but just try to take a small piece away from it.
Yeah.
And I think I was reading,
That's what you took?
and when I was reading a memoir by, I want to say Kathy Griffin.
Yeah.
That was the small piece I took away. That was the knowledge I took away about him.
That what she
That-
said about him?
Yeah, but what she said about him, how his
But
treatment
what
of
about
women.
him? Oh, did you ever hear anything from him? Because I never heard anything
I have
about
not
him.
read. I have not read.
You gotta give the guy a chance. You can't. Somebody else says something about him.
Didn't he star as the guy as Booger on Revenge of the Nerds? Or
No.
am I thinking
no,
the same guy?
I don't know.
Um,
Booger. No,
Yeah.
no. Booger is a whole other guy.
a whole other character.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
It's in Animal House. John Belushi.
I'll have
Famous, super funny guy.
to. Okay.
I never heard what his politics. Never knew what his politics
Okay.
were. Or I'm surprised to hear even this thing about him.
Yeah. That's
'Cause
that's
he-
all I know about.
See now,
him.
see you read something that somebody wrote, and you got the wrong guy, and you got the wrong thing about the wrong guy.
Well, no. I remember specifically about John Belushi. I think I'm
Belushi.
mixing up a
Or
character.
is it the other Belushi, his brother, Jim Belushi, maybe?
Jim. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he.
How about
Was the
Theodore
character
Belushi?
in Nerds.
He's a cousin. Theodore. I'm just kidding. I'm just making up
Theodore
names.
Belushi.
I'm just making up names. Well, that's good. And so, but you like to read biographies and things like that.
Yeah, I
about
enjoy
other
reading
people. So you like
memoirs
humor too. You
I love humor,
That's a laughing
and I
part.
love reading humorous biographies by comedians
Hmm.
and comedic writers. And
Is it also because it talks about their lives and their struggles and things like that? Or is it just?
yeah, I think I can relate. So, I'm an aspiring I aspire to be a comedic writer, and I
See, you didn't tell me that. That's another thing that you love to do. You're probably great at doing it. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
and well, it's just kind of I approach life facetiously, and that's just I'm always looking at the lighter side of things and making light of bad situations and trying to put a positive humorous spin on it.
Oh, that's good.
When you so
You got to laugh often.
yes, you
Yeah.
have to laugh often. Yes, that's a great way to
And
to
then
end that.
you have to
Love much. So
Tell me about that.
just
The love much
have love
part.
have love for everyone. Have love for all
What
the
about
people
John
around
Belushi?
you. And even even John Belushi. Yeah, I'm gonna have to read up more about him
Yeah.
after I leave here. But just
Yeah.
having love for everybody, even those who have wronged you, try to, just save a peace, like just to have a little bit of love for everybody.
Save a little piece
Yeah.
so it never leaves you. You always have some.
Yes.
Huh.
Because whether it's good or bad, you always take a little piece with you, and you want it to be like a loving memory.
You know, that makes me think. very apropos as they use that word, since we were talking about John Belushi and love. Um, Paul, the Apostle Paul. I don't know if you don't know if you know who the Apostle Paul is, but he's an apostle.
No.
He's the person that wrote most of the New Testament.
Okay.
Is the Apostle Paul. Now, the Apostle Paul started. I may be telling you something you already know, maybe you don't know, but either way, it's
I
kind of
probably-
goes
yeah, I
kind of goes with the story. He was kind of what we would call a hater today. He was chasing people, mainly Christians, and he was basically killing them or imprisoning them.
Oh, wow.
And so he had this zeal to kill these people because in his mind he just hated. So, but his heart completely changed. This is interesting because he came from a place where he totally hated Christians, and he himself became a Christian.
Okay.
So his heart was completely turned around. And we were talking about the reason why I bring him up because we were talking about the love much, and you were saying when you said the thing, I want to leave a little bit in there at least. So there's always some. And he said something very interesting. He wrote that we shouldn't let that we should only have one debt, and that's to love other people.
Wow.
So we just said that would be the only debt that we have.
Wow,
Isn't that interesting? Like we
That's
should
very
always-
interesting. That's very
yeah.
profound.
It
I-
made me it reminded me when you said that because
Okay.
I mean you always want to when you said I want to always keep something in there, so I have something left. That's you always want to make sure you have credit, you have something in the account
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Some
Because-
fuel in the tank.
because we owe. But he said, let that be the only debt that you have.
Wow. That's
Now this is a guy that was killing the people that
and then he just completely
completely
did a
and
360.
he wrote
I'm picturing the Grinch.
80%.
And the heart getting bigger.
Yes,
and
yes.
Bigger and bigger.
Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that a wonderful?
That's yeah.
Come
that's
on,
nice.
you cried a little. Bit. Come on, don't let me be the only one.
It's the lighting.
I love that. I love the old Grinch when his heart just.
Oh,
becomes not
that's the best
awesome.
part of the. That's the best part of the movie.
Yeah, but that's what you reminded me when you said that. But anyway, what else you want to talk about?
What else? Yeah. What else do we?
What other questions did you look at that you were like, okay?
Well, I know we're both. The last time we were having a conversation, we both really enjoy movies and
Yes,
and
yes.
cinematography. And,
Have you seen any good movies lately?
well, right now,
Did you catch Amelie, by the way?
what is it?
Amelie, did you watch
It hasn't. It was on Netflix,
Yeah.
and then because I don't want to rent it or pay money for
okay.
it,
All
so
right.
I missed the opportunity to watch it on Netflix. I'll catch it the next time around, or when it's on Hulu.
Well, tell me a movie from some time ago that you watched that really
Well, recent-
impacted you.
Well, the most recent movie I'm really enjoying on Netflix, and I've watched it several times because I love any movie with music composed by Thomas Newman. But I
Oh, right.
I recently have been watching the movie The Highwaymen on
Yeah.
Netflix.
The movie or the series? That's a
It's
movie.
a movie, and it's about the two Texas Rangers that captured Bonnie and Clyde and ended their 2-year killing spree. And
But
it's
you
just-
say I've been watching as if is it
I've
like
seen it several times.
Oh, okay.
I've watched it.
Okay.
When I'm doing chores around the house, or when I'm just watching TV, or sometimes I read and I'll have it on in the background.
So they're the guys that caught Bonnie and Clyde. and
Yes, the two highwaymen
shot
that
them,
were.
or
They caught them on an old dirt road, and they kind of made a plan with the father of one of the other boys that they were robbing banks and doing bad things with. So they
why was that
partnered
so?
with him.
Why is that
to-
so intriguing?
well, I just loved the beautiful cinematography in the movie and
okay.
the music by Thomas Newman.
Okay.
And just the story of because Bonnie and Clyde were like when they were finally captured and killed and they're like 20,000 people went to Bonnie's funeral and like
Really?
15,000 people went to Clyde's, and so couples like that are like romanticized
Yes.
and they were loved and adored by people. And so I have and then all the other movies about Bonnie and Clyde are always about how adored they were and how loved they were.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved how this movie specifically pointed out that people like that don't deserve that, and
Yeah.
the awful things they did.
Yeah.
And so it stars Woody Harrelson, one of my
Yeah.
favorite actors, and
Right,
Kevin
Woody
Costner
Yeah.
and Kathy Bates. So an all-star cast,
Mm-hmm.
and
Wow, I
just
have
a
to see it
beautiful,
then.
a beautiful movie and a
Wow.
beautiful story about how they brought those two to justice.
I'm
And-
always looking for a good movie because when you sit in front of Netflix and you're like looking for something.
I would get caught up in that so easily, and now I have a list off to the side, and I watched kind of because I can get trapped into just search. You spend like hours looking for something, and you're
It's
like,
time to go to
okay,
bed.
it's time to go to bed because we just spent hours looking.
Yeah, I have to check that one out then.
Yeah.
That's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix,
Okay.
and it just came out recently, and I highly recommend it. It's and no movie is a great movie without an amazing soundtrack or film score. And Thomas Newman just did a beautiful job. I think,
Yeah.
like many of his other movies, he just did a beautiful job in this movie. So that's one movie I've seen seen recently. How about you? What-
Nothing.
Nothing.
I'm gonna watch that one, but let's go back actually now. I know we're jumping back and forth. It occurred to me as we were talking. You were talking about this new self introspection that you're going through
Yes.
right now.
It's like
Yeah.
a self-discovery.
So self-discovery. So you have made some. What discoveries have you made? Have you made it, or what is coming about of this self-introspection?
Well, that I want to do things that make me happy,
Okay.
and I don't want to do things that just make other people happy. That I want to do things for myself.
How about
and
both?
You can do both, but I don't want to just like please everyone by saying yes to like everything. It's important to follow your own path and to do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
And things like that.
But also, when I heard the word, what you were saying, the word self-discovery, what are when you say, I want to do just what makes me happy, not what makes other people happy. So, what does that say that you are finding out about yourself deeper than that? What's in there deeper than just I want to do something that makes me happy? What is it that you think you're looking for?
I think I'm looking to undo some of the damage and the codependencies in my life, and not being a people pleaser and doing things that
okay.
just please others.
All right, so you've been finding out that you are a people pleaser.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That could be to your detriment.
Yes, it can
Yeah.
be.
Okay.
Because it led me to follow a career path that wasn't necessarily mine.
Yeah.
And I was just following the paper trail. But so to look inward and to re-engage with those passions I had before that made me who I am, drawing and ceramics and
So it has been good then, even though it's been like kind of a challenge to yourself, it's been a good thing to.
yeah, it's been a good thing.
Yeah.
And becoming more spiritual. And I purchased a new Bible recently, and I
King
haven't-
James?
I,
just
it's the international version.
Internet. It's easier to understand, yeah. It's easier to understand, slightly,
Okay.
the language.
Yeah,
But anyway.
I haven't participated in that since I was younger. My mom was a non-practicing Catholic. My father was atheist. So I haven't read the Bible in a while. So
Did you read some of it when you were younger? Or?
We would read a little bit from it, and we were taught some of the what do you call it, scripture, or the like walk through the shadow of the valley.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
The Psalms.
the
Psalm
Psalms.
23,
Okay.
yeah.
And then I had religion in my life for about a year when I went to a Baptist church. There was a bus that would go through the neighborhood, and pick up the kids and bring us to church.
Yeah.
And it was more like a day off for the parents, I think, because they didn't join us.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just kind of like finding religion.
So you have that during this time of introspection, you find that need then to
Yeah,
okay
because yeah, just to
something within yourself.
a stronger purpose.
Yeah.
And try to get back to roots and get back to basics and
Yeah.
and just rediscover what is really important.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's good. That's a good thing. If you have any questions, don't ask me because I'm just kidding. No, no. If you, you can always come to Christine and I if you have anything you'd like to talk about. And
Well, last time I was in her shop, we
Yeah.
discussed possibly I'll join. Maybe I'll because I'm shopping around for a church.
oh, live song to
And
go visit. And
yes,
stuff.
yeah. So maybe
we-
come with you one Sunday.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because
We got to get up, early because we
The
haven't been,
8:30
we haven't
session.
been lately. It's the best. It's the best because the other ones is too many cars. But whatever. Yeah, that
Yeah.
we love for you to join us. Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
'cause-
great.
that'd be wonderful.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, let me ask you the arc question then. How about that? The arc question is if the ark was leaving and you said you have to get on the ark, what would you
On
take
Noah's
with
Ark.
you? Yeah, or the ark where the world is ending. So
Okay.
could be a rocket, could be an ark. It's just
Okay.
you're leaving the earth because the earth is ending. Well, what would you take?
What would I take?
Yeah.
Well, I would wear a very sensible, versatile outfit.
Yeah.
I would bring my toothbrush,
Yeah.
a good book, and just extra underwear.
That's good. You told me to ask you that question, so you prepare for that.
Yeah, that was
That's good.
That was my
like that was your.
that was my humorous that was my humorous answer to that question.
Oh man. Well, we are getting too close to the end time, and I want to thank you for joining me, Beau. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having
taking
me.
the time to come over, and we're gonna wrap it up. And I hope you join me next week again for the next person that will be here to tell his or her story. I hope you were inspired by Beau's story, and have a good evening.
Goodbye. All right.
Thank you, Beau.
Thank you.